Now we are going to study spreadsheet applications. Unit number 2, spreadsheet applications elementary. So we are starting with session number 1, getting started with spreadsheets. In this session we are going to study about some basic concepts of spreadsheet software. So first of all, let us open an spreadsheet software. So we will go to all programs. From here we will use OpenOffice. And here we will open OpenOffice Calc. This is a spreadsheet application. So a spreadsheet is a software tool. It is a software or a program for organization of data, for analysis of data, and for storage of data. Using a spreadsheet software, we can organize data basically in the form of table. We can do analysis on the data in the form of charts and graphs, and we can store data for future usage. So it is a software that lets me organize data, analyze data, and store data in the form of table. There are various components of a spreadsheet. The first component is a worksheet. So you can see here we have sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3. These are called worksheet. So a worksheet, it is a grid of cells made up of horizontal rows and vertical columns. So multiple cells combined together is called a worksheet. So it is a grid of cells made up of vertical columns and horizontal rows. So these cells combined together is called a worksheet. Right now I am working in a worksheet. When I will save this file will be having more than one worksheet. Sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, sheet number 4. Okay, so it will be called a workbook. Now O Calc worksheet contains 10,48,576 rows and 1024 columns. Let us see. So let's see how many rows we are having. So you can see I just use Control and the down arrow key and I am at the last row, 10,48,576 row. And if again I will use Control and the up arrow key, I will be at the top. Again, if I want to be at the last column, I will use Control and then arrow, and you can see I am at the last column. The last column is AMJ and this is 1024th column. So our worksheet in O Calc contains 10,48,576 rows and 1024 columns, and the name of the last column is AMJ. Row number. Each row is given a number that identifies it. Row numbers start from 1 and go as 2, 3, 4, and the last one is 1, 0, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. These are row numbers. 1, row number 2, 3, 4. So rows are given numbers. Now column letter. Each column is given a letter that identifies it. columns are lettered as A to Z, A, B, C, D, like this. So each column is given a letter. You can see each column is given a letter. For example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They are lettered as A to Z. Then after A to Z is complete, then we have AA, then AB, AC, AD, like this we have ZZ, and like this starts, and the last one is AMJ. So the name of the last column is AMJ. Next important part of a spreadsheet is cell. A cell is a basic unit of worksheet where we usually enter number, text, formula, etc. So this one is a cell, this one is a cell, this one is a cell. A cell is a basic unit of worksheet where we usually enter numbers, we usually enter text, and we usually enter formula. All of these things are entered in a cell. A cell is formed by the intersection of a column and a row. A cell is formed where a column and a row gets intersected. So cell is formed by intersection of a row and a column, and this intersection gives a cell a unique address, which gives a cell a unique address. For example, this cell C3, you can see the name of the cell is C3. It is formed by the intersection of column C and row number 3. Okay. How do we write the name of the cell or address of the cell? First we write the name of the column and then we write the row number. So which gives a cell a unique address. How do we write this address? It is the combination of column letter. First we write the column letter and then we write the row number. For example, if we have the cell C5, then C is the name of the column and 5 is row number. So C5 identifies the cell in column C and row number 5. For example, this one is F5. So F is the column name and 5 is the row number, and the cell gets its name F5. Cell pointer. It is a cell boundary that specifies which cell is active at that moment. So this is the cell boundary. The boundary right now, this is the boundary and this is called the cell pointer, and it tells us which cell is active right now. Right now this cell is active, right now this cell is active, right now this cell is active. So cell pointer is a cell boundary that specifies or tells us which cell is active right now. Current cell, it is the cell which is active. So you can say right now B5 is the active cell. So how do we identify which cell is active? We identify which cell is active by using the cell pointer. This is the cell pointer that tells us which cell is active. Range of cells. A range of cell is a group of contiguous cells that forms a rectangular area in shape. For example, this is a range of cell. It will always form a rectangle. This is a range of cell. How do we write the range of cell? We write the range of cell by starting here. Suppose this one is D4. So our range will be written like this, D4, and then the last one here is F8. So D4 to F8. This is how we write the name of the range. We can name a range also. For example, I am naming this range. So this will be a name given to this range, D4 to F8. You can see D4 to F8. So we have a name here, range. Okay, it is from D4 to F8. So a range is specified by giving address of the first cell in the range and last cell of the range, name of the first cell and name of the last cell. For example, if the cell address of a range of cell is written F7 to G14, so it is a cell which ranges from F7 to G14. Worksheet. Previously also we have defined worksheet. A worksheet is a grid of cells made up of rows and columns, horizontal rows and vertical columns. This is the worksheet. Worksheet number 4, worksheet number 2, worksheet number 3. So a worksheet is a grid of cells made up of vertical columns and horizontal rows. So right now we are working in sheet number 3. This is a worksheet. But when I save this file will contain multiple worksheets, these 3 worksheets and more than 3 worksheets. So that will be called a workbook. Multiple worksheets combined under a file is known as workbook. So multiple worksheets combined together is known as workbook. Wherever I save a file, it is called a workbook. Next thing is status bar, menus and toolbars. We have discussed these things in the previous classes also, but one important point we have to discuss here. What is status bar? You know, status bar is basically found at the bottom side. It is the status bar. Sheet number, default, std, star, sum. This is the status bar. From here we can increase the zoom level or decrease the zoom level. Status bar is an area where the status of the program is shown. Condition of the program is shown. Where the status, the particular program condition is displayed. There are multiple messages that are shown. For example, this message star. You can see in sheet number 3, if we will write something and if we have not saved it, it will show us a star message. Star means that we have done something and we have not saved it yet. Okay, if we have not done anything in any worksheet, it will not show a star sign. So star sign means that we have to save something. Star means changes to spreadsheet have not been saved. So if we will do anything new in the spreadsheet, it will give a star message to tell us that we have not saved any editing work that we have done. Error messages are also displayed here. For example, suppose if I will write here equal to B2 plus C2. Okay, so I get a message 0, no error message. Okay, but if I write, suppose A1 is having a value text and B1 is having value number, and if I will write like this equal to A1 plus B1, so I will get an error message. So error message is value and it will tell us error, wrong data type. So error messages are also displayed in the status bar. So if we will do any error, these messages are displayed in the status bar. Next topic is creating worksheet, opening a worksheet, and how can we save a worksheet. Okay, so first of all we will see how to start Calc and how to create a workbook. Okay, Actually, we usually name this software as Calc. I usually say it is as Calc. So how to start Calc? We have done this before also. The same process is there. Click on Start, then select all programs, and from here we will select Open Office, and from here we will open Calc. One more method that we can try is we can have this on the desktop. Double clicking here, and from here we will select spreadsheet. It will open a workbook. So right now we have opened a workbook. This workbook is a blank workbook. So if we want to open a blank workbook, we just need to open a new Calc file, and this will be having multiple worksheets, sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3. So we have discussed how can we start Calc and how we can create a workbook. So if you want to create a workbook, you will just open Calc and it will give you a blank workbook. Now the next question is how to save a workbook in Calc. How can we save a workbook in Calc? Before learning how to save a workbook, we will learn some important parts of the various components of the Calc spreadsheet. Okay, so first of all we have this menu bar. These are menu bar. These are called toolbar. These are called toolbar. This is known as this one. This is known as the formula bar. Okay, this one you know very well is the cell pointer. Here you will see the address of the cell. This is also known as name box. Okay, now we are having scroll bar. This is the scroll bar, the vertical scroll bar and the horizontal scroll bar. This is known as at the bottom we have the status bar. So these are the various basic components of a spreadsheet. Okay, now we will discuss how we can save a workbook. So suppose right now we have opened a workbook. We have two methods that we can use to save a workbook. One, we can click on File and then we can click on Save, or we can click on Save As. Suppose we have done something, suppose we have written something, then we can now save this workbook. We click on File and then we will click on Save. It will ask me where do you want to save this. Suppose I want to save this on desktop. I will click on desktop and I will give a name to this file. Suppose the name of this file is demo. Okay, and then we will click on save. It will save our file in the desktop. Desktop basically is in C drive, so our file is saved in C drive. Okay, one more method we are having is we can click here. We can click on this icon, this save icon. It will also let us save our file in the computer. Suppose demo, and then click on save. It will save our file. So we have two methods, either we can click here or we can click on file and then we can click on save. One more method is the shortcut Control plus S. Control plus S. It will also allow me to save my file. Okay. Now if the file is previously saved, if I will click on file and then click on save, or if I will click here, or if I will use the shortcut Control plus S, it will automatically update any changes that we have done in the file. So let us save this file with a name, and suppose I am saving it on desktop and then save. you will see the file is saved and this star option has gone because all the changes that we have made is saved. Suppose I make some more change, then you can see this star icon has come. It means that we have done some changes and we have to save this change. Now if I will save this file, it will not ask me to save it at what place I want. It will just save any changes that I have done. Okay, next thing is, how can you open a previously saved workbook? If you have saved any workbook and we want to open this workbook, so we'll click on file and then click on open. Okay, it will ask me what is the name of the file. We can search the file from here also. Okay, otherwise we can write the name of the file ourselves also. If we know the name of the file, we can search the name of the file ourselves also. We can click on open, or we have the option this one, this open icon. I can click on this open icon and I can open any previously opened file. Okay, these are the previous files that we have made. I can click on open and it will allow me to open any file. Alternatively, I can use the shortcut Ctrl+O. It will also allow me to open any file. The shortcut is Ctrl+O and shortcut for saving is Ctrl+S. Okay, so we have discussed how to open and how to save. Now we will discuss how can we have discussed how to save a workbook in Calc. We have discussed how to open a previously saved workbook in Calc. Now we will discuss how to quit from a workbook, means how to close a workbook. Okay, so we will open openoffice.org and how to quit from a workbook. We have different options. Either we can click on file and then we can click on exit. It will also allow me to exit from the workbook, or I can click on here also this close button, or I can go for the shortcut. You can see shortcut here Ctrl+Q, or I can go for the shortcut Ctrl+Q, Q for quit. Okay, when you will try to close this workbook, it will ask you, it will give an alert. Now we will have three options, either save, discard or cancel. It will ask me whether I want to save the changes that I have made. I have made so many changes. So if I want to save my changes, I will click on save. Okay, if I don't want to save my changes and go out of the workbook, exit from the workbook, I will click on discard. Discard will let me go out of the workbook, exit the workbook, but it will not save any changes made by me. And if I don't want to exit, I will click on cancel. It will abort my cancel operation, about my exit operation. It will cancel my exit operation. Suppose I don't want to cancel, suppose I don't want to exit, I will click on cancel. If I don't want to save my changes, I will click on discard. So discard will discard any changes made by me. If I want to save my changes, I will click on save. So this is the way we can quit from a workbook. Our next topic is working in a spreadsheet. How can we do some work in a spreadsheet? What are the various methods that we can follow? So in this topic we are going to study first of all navigating and selecting in worksheet. How can we navigate to different cells in a worksheet? How can we move to different cells in a worksheet? And how can we select different things in a worksheet? So first of all, navigating to a particular cell. If we want to go to a particular cell, we have the option of keyboard also and we have the option of mouse also. So first of all, we will discuss how to navigate to a particular cell using mouse. Now suppose I want to navigate to this cell. I will just hover my mouse here and then I will left click and I will move to this cell. Suppose I don't know where this cell is, but I know the name of the cell. So first of all, we discussed how we can navigate using mouse. Okay. Now if I don't know the if I don't know where the cell is, so I can navigate using the cell reference also. How to navigate to a particular cell means how to move to a particular cell using a cell reference. Okay, suppose I want to go to cell K33. Okay, this is not present here. So I will go to name box and from here I will type K33 and I will press enter. It will take me to this cell K33. So if we want to move to a particular cell and we know the cell reference, then we will just go to name box and from here we can go to a particular cell. We can click on the drop down menu also. If any option is available, we can select that option also. Okay. Next thing is how to navigate to a particular cell using navigator. We have one more option, the navigator option. This one is the navigator. We'll click on navigator and here you can see we have the option. If you want to open navigator, we have one more option. We can go for the shortcut F5. You can go to the shortcut F5. F5 is the shortcut for navigator. Okay, so here we are in the navigator and here I can give the column name and row number. Suppose I want to go to column B5, so I will just go for B. Okay, B and then I will select 5 from here. I can type the number also. So B5 and here we can go to B5. So right now I am in B5. So three options are there. Either I can use my mouse and left click, I can use name box also, or I can use the navigator. For starting the navigator, we have the shortcut F5. So we have discussed how to navigate to a particular cell using navigator. Either we can click on the navigator icon or we can go for the shortcut F5. So we have till now discussed how we can move our cell using mouse. Now next we will discuss how we can move our cell, how we can move ourselves to a particular cell using keyboard keys and sometimes shortcuts also. So we will discuss. There are some keyboard keys that we are going to discuss and there are some shortcuts. Basically, when we are working in a spreadsheet, we use arrow keys. Arrow keys are mostly used in a worksheet: up, left, down and right. These are used to move the cursor to the next cell in the direction of arrow. Suppose I use up, so it will move me up side, left side, down side and right side. Next is control plus home. It will move the cursor to the first cell in the sheet. Let us see this. Control plus home. And you can see I am in the first cell in the sheet and the first cell in the sheet is A1. So if I want to go to A1, I will use control plus home. Control plus end. It moves the cursor to the last cell on the sheet that contains data. If there is any last cell in the sheet which contains data, it will move us to that cell. So control plus end. Let us see control plus end. Control plus end. That is the last cell that contains the data. Now we don't have any data anywhere. We don't have any data anywhere after this. We have data in this range. This means data. So it will move us to the last cell on the sheet that contains data. Next we have home. It moves the cursor to the first cell of the current row. First cell of the current row. See? Okay. So we can see we were here and it will move us to the first cell of the current row. End. It moves the cursor to the last cell of the current row. Last cell of the current row in a column containing data. Last cell of the current row. Let us see this. Last cell of the current row. Last cell of the current row. So we are in end. Last cell of the current row in a column containing data. You can see last cell in the current row in the column containing data. Suppose we are here, then end. Okay. So the current row, this one is the current row, and last cell that contains data in the column. These are simple shortcuts. They are not mostly asked in exams also. We basically go for these keys. Now we have one more option. Navigating to other worksheet within the workbook. We know that in a workbook we have multiple worksheet and there is option to add to have 256 worksheet in a workbook. We can have 256 worksheets in a workbook. So the question comes, how can we navigate to other worksheet in a workbook? So let us see how we can navigate to other worksheet using mouse. Here we can see we are here in a workbook and this workbook is having 3 sheets. Sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3. So if I want to navigate to other sheet using mouse, I will just click here. Now I am in sheet number 1. If I will click here, I am in sheet number 2 now. And if I will click here, I am in sheet number 3. So if you want to move to another sheet using mouse, you will just click on the names of the sheet provided above the status bar. Now if you want to move to different sheets using keyboard, So how to navigate to other worksheet using keyboard? We have 2 shortcuts, Control plus page down and Control plus page up. Control plus page down will move one sheet to the right and Control plus page up will move one sheet to the left. So first we will use Control plus page down. So Control plus page down. You can see I am in sheet number 2. It moved one sheet to the right. Now we will go for Control plus page up, one sheet to the left. So Control plus page up, one sheet to the left. Now one more option we are having is how to navigate to other worksheet using navigator. We know how to open navigator. The shortcut is F5 also. Let us see how we can open navigator. This is our navigator. Click here. It will open navigator. And using navigator also we can go to another sheet. For starting navigator we have the shortcut F5. When navigator, double click here and you can have the option sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3. Suppose I want to go to sheet number 3. So right now I am in sheet number 3. So we have discussed how we can move or navigate to other worksheet within a workbook using mouse and using keyboard. The next topic that we are going to study is 1.4.2, selecting items in a sheet or spreadsheet. So how to select a single cell, how to select a single column, how to select a single row, and how to select the entire worksheet using mouse. So we will see this one by one. Suppose first of all we will see how we can select a single cell. If you want to select a single cell, we will just left click on the cell. Suppose I want to select this cell, then I will left click on the cell. Okay. If I want to select a single column, suppose I want to select this column named C or column named D. So I will click on the column identifier later here. This will select the entire column. If I will click here, select the entire column. If I will click here, select the entire column. If I want to select a single row, then I will click on the row number. Suppose here, it will select the entire row. It will select the entire row. Now, if I want to select the entire worksheet, then I have to click here. I have to click here. I have to click on the small box between the column header A and row number 1. I will click here. It will select the entire worksheet, or I can go for the shortcut Control plus A. It will select the entire worksheet from A1 to AMJ 1048576. We have selected the entire worksheet. So we have discussed how to select a single cell, how to select a single column, and how to select a single row, and how we can select an entire sheet using a mouse. Next that we are going to study is 1.4.2a, selecting a range. How can we select an entire range? So first of all, how to select a range through mouse? How can we select a range using mouse? Suppose I want to select a range starting D6 and the range should end at F11. So I will just click at the corner D6 and then I will drag using left mouse, and then suppose I want to go till F11. So I will release the mouse here. This will allow me to select this range of cell. You can see this range of cell is a group of continuous cell that is forming a rectangular shape. Okay. Now next is how to select a range through keyboard. Suppose I want to select this same range from D6 to F11. I will click here. Suppose my cell is here. Now I will just press shift key and then I will start using arrow keys. I want to go till F11. So I will just use left arrow keys and then down arrow keys, and then I have come to F11. So this way I can select range using keyboard. The key that I am using is shift key, and I am using one more key combination, arrow keys. Right arrow keys, left arrow keys, up arrow keys or down arrow keys we can use as per our requirement. Now there are some shortcut keys that we can use. One is shift plus space bar if you want to select the current row. Suppose I want to select this current row, then the shortcut is shift plus space bar. It will select this entire row. Okay. Now if I want to select the entire column in which we are, control plus shift plus space bar. Suppose I am in this column and I want to select this entire column, so control plus shift plus space bar will select the entire column in which we are. Now if I want to select the entire worksheet, we have discussed this previous also, the shortcut is control plus A. Control plus A. It will select the entire worksheet. Next topic that we are going to study is in 1.4.3, inserting cells, inserting rows and inserting columns in a worksheet. How can we insert as many number of cells we want rows and columns in a worksheet. Now first of all we will see how we can insert one or more blank cells in a worksheet. Suppose I want to insert 1 or 2 or 3 blank cells in a worksheet, then how can I do this? Now suppose I want to insert blank cell in between these two data. Okay, so to insert blank cell in a worksheet we have to follow these steps. Now suppose I want to put my cell below this one. Okay, I will click on insert and then click on cells. Okay, it will ask me shift cells down, shift cells right, entire row and entire column. Okay, so I am telling shift cells down. Okay, so cell is down now and I am having one cell above. If I want to get one cell above this one, I will click on insert, then click on cells and then shift cells down. It will shift this cell down and it will insert one cell here. You can see it has inserted one cell here. Okay. Now one more thing, if you want to add more than one cell, if you want to add more than one cell, so again we will come here. Okay, suppose I want to insert 2 cells. Okay, so I will select these 2 cells. Suppose I want to select 2 cells, so I will select 2 cells. Again I will go to insert and then cells and shift cells down, and here we are now having 2 cells. So we have to select as many number of cells we want. So we wanted 2 more cells, so we selected 2 cells. Okay, so this way we can insert one cell, or if we want we can insert more than one cell in a worksheet. Next we are going to study is how to insert a single row and how to insert multiple rows in a worksheet. How to insert either a single row or how to insert multiple rows in a worksheet. Suppose I want to insert a single row. Suppose I want to insert one row above this one. You can see the lines here because I have inserted cells now, that's why. So let us now suppose I want to insert one row above this, Control plus S. Okay, so I will just click here and then click on insert and then click on row, because now I want to insert row. So click on row, it will insert a single row. So we have discussed how to insert a single row. Now we will discuss how to insert multiple rows in a worksheet. The same method that we followed for cells. If you want to insert 2 rows, then select 2 rows. 2 rows we have selected, then click on insert and then click on rows. Now you can see we have inserted 2 rows above the previous rows. So if you want to insert 2 rows, you have to select 2 rows. If you want to insert 3 rows, you have to select 3 rows. Okay, next topic is how to insert a single column or how to insert multiple columns in a worksheet. The process is same. Suppose I want to insert a single column, so I will just select this one and click on insert and then click on columns, and from here you can see I have inserted one single column. Okay, now suppose I want to insert 2 columns. Suppose I want to insert 2 columns, so I will select 2 columns and then click on insert and then click on columns. It will give me 2 extra columns. So the same process that we followed for cell, the same process that we followed for rows, and the same process that we have to follow for column also. Next topic is 1.4.3 deleting cells deleting rows and deleting columns in a worksheet. So first of all, we will see how we can delete cells, how we can delete rows, and how we can delete columns in a worksheet. So first of all, we will see how we can delete. We can delete row, column, and cell using just one option. Suppose I want to delete this whole row. Just I will click here, then click on edit, and then click on delete option. Here is our delete option. Okay, so here we have delete cells. Okay, now it will ask me shift cells up, shift cells left. These two options are used to delete a single cell. If you want to delete a single cell, you can go for these two options. If you want to delete the entire row, you will go for the third option, delete entire row. Or if you want to delete the entire column, you can go for the fourth one. I want to delete the entire row. I will click here and then I will click on OK. It will delete the entire row. You can see the entire row got deleted. If you want to delete the entire column, again same method, click on edit and then click on delete cells, and from here we will select the entire column. It will delete the entire column. You can see the entire column got deleted. If you want to delete the cell only, okay, suppose you don't want to delete any column or any row, okay, so we just want to delete this cell only, not this one, not this one. Okay, so I will just click on edit and then click on delete cells, and from here I will click on either shift cells up or shift cells left. Suppose I want to go for shift cells left and then OK. You can see only this cell got deleted, neither this whole column nor this whole row got deleted. Okay. Next is how to delete contents of a range of cells, means more than one cell. Suppose we are going to create range of cells. So we have created one. Okay, now suppose this is the range of cell and I want to delete some cells in this range of cells. I will just drag the fill handle. As I move the fill handle, the contents will get deleted. You can see the contents have been deleted. So if we want to delete contents of a range, we will just drag the fill handle inside and the contents will get erased. Just fill handles will be moved inside and the contents got deleted. One more thing is, if a formula is referring to a cell, and you have deleted the value of the cell, then the result of the formula will become 0. For example, suppose I have data here as 34 and I have data here as 56 and I have used one formula A1 plus A2. We have the value 90 and suppose I have deleted the content of this cell. You can see it will either give 0 as a result or it will give you error value, because there is a problem with the reference. This one is having some problem. Okay, so it will either give us the value as 0 or it will give us error value. Okay, Next topic that we are going to study is 1.4.4 freezing rows and columns. Sometimes some rows or columns store some important piece of information which we want to view all the time, even if we have moved to the next page of the worksheet. For this we have to go for freeze. We can freeze such rows or such columns, and then those frozen rows and columns will remain in our view even if we move to the next part of the worksheet. So freezing actually locks a number of rows at the top of a sheet or a number of columns on the left of a sheet. So let us see how we can lock a number of rows at the top of a sheet and how we can freeze a number of columns on the left of a sheet. So the question comes, how to freeze single row or column? Suppose in this row we have name of students, class and roll number. Okay, and if we move here, this whole name option will go, otherwise we will not be able to find what is written at the top. Suppose Suresh. Okay, then we have class and then we have the roll number, then we have class and then we have the roll number. But if we move, then we are not able to find what is the value about and what is the value about. So we can go for freezing the panes. We can go for freezing the top row or multiple rows at the same time. So what we will do, we will just click here. Okay, suppose I want to freeze this one, name, class and roll. So I will click below the row which I want to freeze, then I will click on window and then I will click on freeze. You can see one line will come and it tells me that the row above this line is frozen. Now if I will move my cursor and move to the next page, then also this row will remain intact. Okay, so now I can see this is name value, this is class and this is roll. So sometimes we want to freeze one or more than one row. Suppose I want to freeze these two rows, so I will just click here. Suppose I want to freeze these two rows, I will click here and then I will click on Windows, then I will click on Windows and then click on freeze. These two rows have got frozen. Okay, now if I want to release this freeze, means if I don't want to freeze these two rows now, so I will just click on window and then again click on freeze. Now you can see these are free now, these have not been frozen. Okay, next topic was how to freeze a column also. How can we freeze a? So we are going to discuss how we can freeze a single column or more than one column. Previously we have seen how we can freeze a single row or more than one row. Okay, so suppose I want to freeze this column. I want to freeze this column. So I will click just right side of this column, then click on window and then click on freeze. You can see the line, this line tells us that this row is frozen. This row is frozen. Okay, you can see this row is frozen. If I want to freeze more than one, sorry, this column is frozen. This column is frozen. If I want to freeze more than one column, then I will click here. Suppose I want to freeze these two columns, again click on window and then click on freeze. Now you can see these two columns have been frozen. Okay, so the next topic is how to freeze a row and a column both at the same time. Suppose I have to freeze at least one row and one column at the same time. Okay, so what I will do, I will click here. Okay, clicking here means I want to freeze these two rows and I want to freeze this column. I want to freeze these two rows and I want to freeze this column. Click on window and then click on freeze. You can see these two rows have been frozen and this column has also been frozen. So wherever you go, these two will remain. These two will remain. Okay, so we have discussed how we can freeze a row, a single row and a column, or multiple row and columns at the same time. Now how to unfreeze rows or columns. If you have frozen some rows or columns, then you can unfreeze them also. We have discussed this previously also. Click on window and then click on freeze again and it will stop the freezing. So this way we can unfreeze rows or columns. Next topic is splitting the window or the screen. 1.4.5 is splitting the window or the screen. So sometimes you want to constantly view a section of the worksheet, but at the same time you need to navigate to other sections also, so that you can have a look at the two distinct parts of the worksheet. This is not possible using simple navigation system. So for this you need to split your screen so that one screen independently shows you a part of the worksheet, while in other screen you can scroll to a far away part of the worksheet. This way you can have two screens at the same time. So in splitting one screen independently shows you a part of the worksheet, while in the other screen you can scroll to a faraway part of the worksheet. Screen can be split either horizontally or vertically or both ways. We can split the screen either horizontally or vertically or in both ways. Okay, so we will discuss how we can split the screen horizontally, how we can split the screen vertically, and how we can split both at the same time. So first of all, we will see how we can split the screen horizontally. How to split the screen horizontally. Okay, let us see this. We will place the mouse cursor above the scroll bar, the vertical scroll bar, and you can see it will become like this. Okay, double sided arrow, and then we will press left mouse button and then we will start dragging, and now we have two screens, both independent of each other. Both are independent of each other, and in both the screens we can work. Okay, both the screens we can work at the same time. Okay, both the screens can get scrolled also. And we can work in both the screens at the same time. Okay, next is how to split the screen vertically. How to split the screen vertically. So again we will come here and we have split the screen vertically also. Here you can see this one is working and this one is also working. We have two different scroll bars here also. We have the scroll bar and here also we have the scroll bar. So we can both work. We can work in both the screens at the same time. Now suppose I want to go for both horizontal and vertical at the same time. So I can do this also. So now we have four screens, four different screens to work with. Four different screens to work with. Okay. Now how to remove split views, how to remove these split views that we have made. So again put the mouse cursor and then put it at the top. Again here also it will be moved. Okay, so now we can see we have removed the split views that we have made. Vertical split views and horizontal split views, both we have dropped. Okay, there is one more method to remove the split views. Suppose we have made the split and then suppose I want to remove this split, then I will click on window and then I will click on split, it will remove the split. So we have one more option how we can remove the split. Next is document properties. Document properties means information about the document. So a writer document that we had discussed in the previous classes is a text document. A CalC document is a spreadsheet workbook. A base, OpenOffice.org base creates a database, means a table to organize data. And if you are working in Impress, it is like PowerPoint, it gives you a presentation. So there are different types of documents that we can create. If you are working in Writer, it will create a text document. If you are working in CalC, it will create a spreadsheet workbook. And if you are working in Base, it will create a database. And if you are working in Impress, it will create a presentation. Okay. So now the question comes, how can we access workbook properties? How can we get the properties of the workbook? So for that we will click on File and then we will click on Properties. And here we will get the properties, created, modified, okay, all of these things all together. So this was our topic. Our topic is complete now.